week 12, we have the logic statements and the quantifiers. So we have these objectives. So first, distinguish between simple and compound statements. And then write compound statements in symbolic form and vice versa. And then third, use quantifiers appropriately. So what is a logic statement? So it refers to a statement that is either true or false, but not both true and false sentence, which is declarative. So the logic statement is in declarative form and can be identified or classified as true or false. For example, sun is the center of the universe. So that is a statement. Okay, so you can classify it, identify it as true or false. Again, it couldn't be both true and false. Okay, so simple statement is a statement that reveals a single idea. So yung example ko kanina, sun is the center of the universe. Ayan. And then for if we say compound statement naman, it is a statement that reveals two or more ideas. So para maging compound statement yung example ko, so it could be sun is the center of the universe and earth revolves around the sun. So doon sa example ko na yun, dalawa na yung idea. So first is sun is the center of the universe and earth revolves around the sun. So that's compound statement. So if it is reveals two or more ideas. Ayan. So we have the so-called truth value and truth tables. So if we say truth value, this is the way you identify the statement. Kung true ba siya or false. So that is the truth value of the statement. And then truth value of a compound statement naman, it is dependent upon the truth values of its simple statement and its connectives. So if we say truth value ng compound statements, we need to do some operations for us to identify the truth value of this compound statement. So later on, I will teach you how. And then truth table. So it is dependent upon the truth value of a compound statement for all possible truth values of its simple statement. So here we will use this truth table for us to know the truth value of a compound statement. So ito yung ginagamit natin para malaman natin ang truth value ng compound statement. Okay, so we have the so-called now logical connectives and symbols. So logical operator or connective on mathematical statements is a word or combination of words that combines one or more mathematical statements to make a new mathematical statement. Okay, so statement, if we say not P, ayan, so the connective is not. Okay, so ito yung connective niya dito. Ayan, so kung not P, the connective is not. In symbolic form, it is like this. Or pwede din siyang ganyan. Sa ibang book, so they are using this sign. So parang ganun. Ayan. So not P. And then this type of statement is negation. And then next statement is P and Q. So our connective there is N. So yan yung nakapag-connect sa dalawang statements natin, P and Q. And then in symbol, it is like this. Yan. So ito yung symbol ni and. And then this is what we call the conjunction statement. And then if we have P or Q, so our connective is OR. And then in symbolic form, it is like this, the V. Okay? So it is this junction statement, if naka-OR. And then we have if P, then Q. Ayan. So the connective there, we have if and then. So the symbol is this one, single-headed arrow. So arrow na ganon, going to the right. So this is what we call the conditional statement kasi we have the if then. And then next we have P, if, and only if Q. So our connective, we have if and only if, or we have the I, F, F. Ayan. So if and only if yan. So in symbolic form, it is like this. So dalawang or two-headed arrow. So kumaga nag-extend siya on both direction. Ayan. So this is what we call the biconditional. Okay, so again, you need to familiarize this. Ayan, kung not, ganito yung symbol niya. Kung N, ganito yung symbol niya. Kung OR, ganito ang symbol niya. If then, isang arrow o isang head ng arrow lang, single-headed arrow. And then kung if and only if, So, two-headed arrow or so an arrow na nag-extend on both directions. Ayan. So, here. Example, P is the statement it is raining. And Q is the statement Daisy is playing golf. So, for A, P and Q. So, if we say here, the symbol is for end. Okay, so ito siya na symbol is for end. Okay. Oops. Okay, so this is the symbol for end. Okay, so this is now the symbol for end. So, kung end, that means yung P, i-substitute mo lang yung value ni P, which is it is raining. Ayan, so it is raining, and then the symbol is end. So, we have here end. And then the value of Q is Daisy is playing golf. So, Daisy is playing golf. So, ganun lang siya. I-substitute lang yung given. Okay, and then kung ano yung quantify, ano yung connective dito. So, here, this is the symbol for or. So, that means it is raining or Daisy is playing golf. And then here, this is for if then na symbol. Okay, so we have if, ang P natin is it is raining. So if it is raining, and then we have then, the value of Q, Daisy is playing golf. So Daisy is playing golf. And then next we have not P. So this is the symbol for not. So what I told you, they can use this. Oops. Okay, so they can use this here or ganitong symbol, not P. Okay, so kung naka-not yan siya, the P is it is raining. So para ma-not dito, it is not raining. So ganyan lang siya ka-simple. Okay, negate lang talaga siya. You need to take the opposite of the given statement. All right. So this is now what we call the truth value. So for the truth table. So truth table has this formula na 2 raised to the power of n or 2 raised to the power of n. Okay, so n here is the number of statements given. So kung may 2 statements tayo, so our n is 2, so 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. So this is now the number of rows. So ito siya, row 1, row 2, so row 1, row 2, row 3, and then row 4. Ayan. So we need this formula for us to know how many rows. If the number of statements given naman ay 3, so 2 raised to the power of 3, that is 8. So that means we need to have 8 rows. Okay? So dito muna tayo, if given we have A, B. So dalawa lang, we have statements A and B. So that means we will have 4 rows. So ito, row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. So this is always the case, ha? So this is constant. Okay, hindi yan siya magbabago. Itong TTFF. So kumbaga, first row natin, so the arrangement will be true, true, false, false. So that is the arrangement always for the first column. For the second column naman, this is always the arrangement true, false, true, false. Ayan, again, this is constant. This will not change, okay? And then we have A and B. Okay, so that means kung our operator is and, so true and true, the answer is true. True and false, the answer is false. False and true, the answer is false. False and false, the answer is false. Okay, so that means pala, if our connective is and, magiging true lang siya, yung value ng ating compound statement, if ever both of the simple statements are true. Pero kung may isa sa kanila or lahat sila ay false, false na agad yung answer. So again, we are now on logic. So you need to familiarize the rule. Okay, so this is the rule. Next, kung or naman, so true or true, that's true. True or false, that's true. False or true, that's true. False or false, that's false. Okay, so or naman, yung rule niya is magiging false lang siya if ever lahat sila false or lahat ng simple statements natin ay false. The rest, true. Okay, that's the rule for or. Next, this is the if then or the conditional statement. So ganito naman yung rule niya. If true, then true. So that's true. True, if true, then false. So that's false. If false, then true. That's true. If false, then false. That's true. Okay. So kumbaga ganito siya. Yung rule naman ni conditional statement is kung ano yung nandito, ayan, kung ano yung nasa then, that is the value. Except lang dito. False if false, that's true. Okay, so if false, then false. So kumbaga, kung false na yung una, and then naging false na naman yung kasunod, so that's true already. Na false talaga, false, 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 then false. Okay, so diyan lang siya magiging true. So that means dito naman kay conditional statement, dito lang siya magiging false. Once lang siya magiging false. Dito sa if false, if true, then false. Ayan. Sa conditional statement naman, ayan. So, napakasimple lang ng rule niya. So, yung rule niya lang is, if ever hindi same, ayan, for example, here, kung hindi same yung truth values ng ating dalawang simple statements, magiging false siya. So, dito siya false. Dito naman, kung yung dalawa ay true, so that's true. Kung dalawa ay false, so that's true. So, ganyan yung rule niyo ni conditional or biconditional statement. So this is also for not. So ang daming symbol ni not. So pwedeng ganito, pwede din ganan, pwede din ganito. Okay? Parang apostrophe. So that is still not. All you need to do is to take the negation. So kung true dito si A lang naman, ayan, si A. So not A, ibaliktad lang yung truth values ni A. So dito yung values ni truth value ni A, we have PT. So dito, kung inat natin yan, magiging false. Okay, false, false. Dito naman, false, false siya. So dito, kapag na-negate natin, true, true. Okay, so again, you need to familiarize the rules. Kasi we will use this for us to identify the truth value of the compound statements. Ayan. So kumbaga, ito na yung summary ng rules. So for the conjunction statements or for the end, ayan, this is the symbol for end. So magiging true lang siya if lahat or yung dalawa ay true. The rest false siya. Ang daming false ni end. So andito. Kung end, dito lang talaga siya true kung true lahat. Ayan. And then for the or naman or the disjunction statement, magiging false lang siya if false lahat. The rest true siya. So ayan. Ayan. So true siya, dito lang talaga siya false. Kung no choice na talaga. Okay? And then for the negation statement naman, ang dali lang. So just take the opposite of what is given. And then for the conditional statement is kung ano yung nasa then, that will be the answer except for if false, then false. So that is true. Ayan. So if false, then false. So that is true. And then for the biconditional statement, so kung magkaiba yung validity or truth value na ating dalawang given, dalawa or tatlong given, then false. Pero kung pareho silang true or pareho silang lahat na false, so that is true. Okay, so that's the rule. Okay. So example, construct a truth table for the formula not P, and we have P implies Q. Okay, so we also have here this rule no, sa pag-construct ng truth table. So this is what we call the truth table natin. So again, the given, we count muna how many given. So yung given or how many letters na nakikita nyo dyan. So we have only 2 letters, P and Q. So that means 2 raised to the power of n, we need to have 4 rows. Okay, kapag may 4 rows, this is always constant. Okay, sa first column, dalawang true followed by dalawang false. The next column, alternate na TF, TF. So that means we have P and Q. Okay? So dito naman sa pag-solve natin, we need to start sa inner left. Okay? So kung ano yung nasa una dito. So ito yung pinakauna. So same with algebra, you cannot have 2 operations. Hindi pwedeng magsabay ang not and P. Okay? Hindi yan pwede siya ma-solve. Same with math. Plus times 3. Hindi pwedeng ganyan. So, dapat may number pa dito, di ba? Ayan. So, ganyan din siya sa logic. So, unahin muna natin si not P. Okay, so not P. So, ibaliktad lang lahat ng values ni P dito. So, we have T, T. So, here, false, false. False, false here, true, true. And then we have P implies Q. So, same with algebra. Kung ano yung mga nasa grouping variables, yun din yung unahin. Okay, we cannot go with and then papunta dito. Okay, so unahin muna yung mga nasa grouping symbols. So we have here P implies Q, or if P then Q. Okay, so yung rule naman niya, 'di ba, magiging false lang siya, or we will follow what is the value dito sa then. And then sa last naman, if false then false, that's true. Okay, so this is the rule. If true then true, so that's true. Kung ano yung nandito. So, i-copy nyo lang yan. So, TFT. And then dito, if false then false, that's true. Okay, that's the rule of the conditional statement. Next naman, we have this last na operation, itong CN. So, i-add natin ito at saka itong mga nasa nakulong. So, we now have two values. So, dito na tayo titingin. Okay, sa dalawa. And then, we will apply the rule for end. Ang rule ni end, basta may nakita siyang false, false na talaga. So, false and true, that's false. False and false, that's false. True and true, that's true. True and true, that's true. So, this is now the final answer. False, false, true, true. So, okay, next, we have the so-called tautologies and contradictions. So, if we say tautologies, it is a compound statement S that is true for all possible combinations of truth values of the component statements that are part of S. So if we say tautology, kumbaga, yung sa final natin na column true lahat. So example dito, T, 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 T. Ayan, so this is tautology. Kung contradiction naman, it is a compound statement that is false for all possible combinations of truth values of the component statements that are part of S. So kumbaga, kung false lahat, dito naman sa final row, final column natin, so this is what we call the contradiction. This is the tautology. Ayan. So example, show that P implies Q or Q implies P is a tautology. So i-show daw natin that this, kumbaga yung last column niya is all true. Ayan. So gawa tayo ng truth table. So we have two statements. So again, 4 rows pa rin tayo. So this is a constant. Ayan. So dalawang true, dalawang false, and then alternate na. Then unahin muna ito because this is on the left side. Ayan. So P implies Q. So the rule is kung ano yung nandito, that's it except dito. So TFT, dito naman, that's true. Ayan. And then Q implies P. So you will look at here. So kumbaga ano yung nandito, that's it. So true implies true, that's true. False implies true, that's true. True implies false, that's false. False implies false, so that's true. Ayan. And then naka-or sila, pang last na operation natin. So sa or naman, basta may nakita siyang true, true na agad yung sagot. Okay, so you will look at here on these two columns. So true or true, that's true. False or true, that's true. True or false, that's true. True or true, that's true. So ayan. Indeed, the given is a tautology. Kasi yung nasa last row, last column niya are all true. Ayan. Next, we have the so-called quantifiers. So ano yung mga quantifiers? So kumbaga, this will quantify. Okay, kaya tinatawag silang quantifiers. So universal quantifier. So this is the first type of quantifier in mathematics. So uses none, no, all, and every one in a statement, or every in a statement. So ito yung mga ginagamit niya usually. We have none, no, all, and every in a statement. So quantifiers none and no denies existence of something, whereas all and every, ayan, asserts that every element of a given set satisfies some condition. Okay, so if we say universal statement, kumbaga, as a whole, or kumbaga, no one is exempted. So that's for the universal quantifier. Okay, so example niya, we have P of X is true for all values of X. So again, if we say for all or universal quantifier, lahat kasali from the word universal, no one is exempted. And then we have for all X, P of X, for each X, P of X, for every X, P of X, given any X, P of X. Ayan, so ito yung mga examples ng ating universal quantification. So ito naman yung kanyang symbol. Okay, so we have for all X here. So ito yung symbol niya for all X, P of X. So this is now the symbol for all. Ayan. And then, so which is pronounced for all X, P of X. So this is what we call the symbol of the universal quantifier. Ayan. So statement example. For any real number X, okay, we always have X squared greater than or equal to 0. So if we say always and for any, that means universal. Okay, so no one is exempted. Ayan, so in symbol, it could be like this. For all X or for any real number X, element of R. So R is the set of real numbers. So not discuss na natin to previously sa prelim pa. So here we have X squared is greater than or equal to 0. Ayan. Or we have this for all X where X is element of a real number. It implies X squared is greater than or equal to 0. Ayan. But this is usually the situation. So ito, ganito siya pagka translate into symbols. Ayan. Next, we have the existential quantifier. This uses some and there exists and at least one in a sentence. So ito yung mga keywords niya, some and then there exists or at least one. So dito naman kay existential quantifier is kumbaga kabaliktaran siya ni universal statement. Para sa kanya is at least isa may nag-e-exist. Or kumbaga hindi lahat. Basta may nag-exist lang na kahit na isa. Okay? That's for the existential quantifier. Okay, so example niya, there exists an X such that P of X, or for some X, P of X, or there is some X such that P of X. So this is the symbol. There exists X such that P of X. So ito yung symbol naman ni existential quantifier. Kung ganito, this is the universal quantifier. Okay. So example niya, there exists, so klarong-klaro, this is existential quantifier. A real number X such that X is greater than 5. So there exists, ayan, so there exists X, element of R. So R is the set of real numbers. X is greater than 5. So ganyan lang siya kadali. Okay, so there exists, ayan, there exists X, ayan, X, na element daw siya ng real number. And then isulat lang ano yung nandito. X is greater than 5. Ayan. Ayan, so in summary, dito sa week 12 na topic, so this is the operator, kung conjunction yung type ng statement natin. So this is the symbol of and. So yung rule niya is magiging true lang siya kung lahat ng given or the values of P and Q are true. Ayan. Kung disjunction naman, ayan, so this is the symbol for or. So magiging true siya pag nakita siyang, may nakita siyang true. False lang siya if lahat ng nakita niya ay false. Negation, this is the symbol for negation or yung apostrophe or ganyan. So the opposite lang ng given value. Then for the conditional statement naman, so kung ano yung nasa then, that will be the answer except for if false, then false, the value is true. Ayan. So for the quantification naman, there are two ways to quantify a propositional function, a universal quantification and the existential quantification. So this is now the symbol for the universal. Ayan. And this is for the existential. Okay, so if you want to negate or kung kabaliktaran naman, if the given is for all or the universal quantifier, the opposite of that one is the existential quantifier. If the given is existential quantifier naman, the opposite of that one is the universal quantifier. Ayan. And that's the end of week 12.